wanted to make this video for a while about the color blue because it ties into a couple of the other videos, and it is something that's kind of important. So historically, there was a period of time before which people didn't reference the color blue. So around, like from ancient languages, there aren't clear terms for the color blue. There are clear terms for other colors. But then, around the same time, everywhere in the world, people started referencing blue as a distinct color. So, like, famously, Homer, when he wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey, referred to the sea as like wine dark, like a reddish color. So then Egypt, at some point, 4000 whatever BC, synthesized a pigment for the color blue, and from that point forward, the color blue became something that people could visualize and reference. So there's two big, deep, meaningful insights from this. One is that you cannot see something until you have a reference frame for it. You cannot perceive something until you have a reference. So there has been no change in brains for 200,000 years. DNA shows the same architecture. You have the same rods, you have the same cones in your eyes. So there's nothing different about the mechanics, except the ability to perceive. Before we have that frame of reference for the, in this case, the color blue, we physically cannot see it. We physically cannot perceive it. Once the mechanism, once the pattern is there, then it becomes something that we can see. So one obvious question becomes, what else is there that we can't physically see because we don't have a pattern for it? The other big insight from this is about insight, which is, we talked about modes and how the brain operates, and it mimics how sort of everything works, which is that insight, which is the understanding of something, is non-local. The color blue was used from that point forward in languages around the world at the same time, without someone saying, well, here's blue, here's blue, here's blue. This happens all the time across all kinds of different things. There's evidence of this happening with the domestication of the horse, where there are separate tribes around the world, and around the same time, everybody started riding horses. The development of the bow and arrow. Around the same time, evidence of this showing up everywhere. So either you're getting one individual that's learning a thing and spreading it to the whole world across distance really fast, like they can travel all of a sudden in ways that they couldn't travel back then, or the insight is understood in one place or two places or three places, and now that insight is being read by all of us everywhere. The reading of it is a translation. So it can be translated in a lot of different ways through a lot of different mediums. Some people translate via painting and art. Some people translate via poetry and words. Some people translate via brain science or via whatever else. So the translations are different, but the insight, the translations are local, the insights are non-local. And as soon as you start to think that the insights are local, that creates ego distortion. So as soon as somebody says, I figured out how to ride horses, or I figured out how to shoot a bow and arrow, or I figured out how to see the color blue, that creates a distortion locally that creates a lot of problems. And for reference on this, see all the problems that ego has created everywhere over time. So there's a video before about talking about how the brain receives how the brain receives information and acts on information. And I mentioned consciousness as a dance between those two things. And uh, that's what it is. That consciousness is not a thing. It's a experience. It's an experience of those things moving together. So the next video, or in a future video, I'm going to stop saying the next video because I say that and then I move on to something else. But we're still going to do a video about attractor states. But a video I want to do next is going to be um, the difference between knowledge and wisdom. And for a teaser on that video, those things are not existing on a pole, they are orthogonal to each other. Orthogonal is my new favorite word. I've been using it all the time for the last few weeks. But it just means perpendicular or at a right angle, but it's kind of important. So, yeah, love you guys.